What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Alphaville. Once again, shout out to Yun, as well as all the folks who've taken an interest in the Alphaville reactions over the last year, I would say. But yeah, we're going to go through at least a few of the tunes on the second disc from the deluxe edition of Breathtaking Blue, 1989 originally. And I believe the reissue or the deluxe edition is 2021 in the moment, if I'm remembering that correctly. In any case, I noticed the second tune on the second disc is Headlines, a track I haven't reacted to by Alphaville, though I did react to an amazing 90s acid trance tune by Pablo Gargano by that name. But yeah, as far as I know, I have not reacted to an original version or, a track from one of their proper albums by this name. So yeah, assuming this is a B-side or non-album tune, the title Headlines, typically speaking, it relates to newsprint, like print media, and big summaries in simple form of whatever content is below, and typically related to news, not like op-eds, meaning not like a column that relates to like longer term issues or consideration, but something that is fresh, something that's just happened and is being announced to readership and thus by extension the world. So yeah, I would expect it maybe to relate to something that is newsworthy or which is fresh and attention grabbing. I suppose it could be used in a different capacity, though typically speaking, again, your Headlines relates to the top line summary of written material. So let's see what this is. This is Headlines by Alphaville, a B-side or bonus tune, I assume. Let me see if any metadata maybe gives us a hint. Yeah, it says Breathtaking Blue, and just to confirm, it is the 2021 remaster release. But yeah, I don't see anything clearly indicated as to, the context of this release. So either way, do let me know if you're familiar, but let's listen. This is Headlines by Alphaville. A light next to it. Different sonic influences here. It's a bit sing-songy, but it still has a bit of a dance floor feel.
We call ourselves the crown of creation. I wonder what does it mean? Hey, hey. We're not the owners of the moon and the earth. It's like a roundabout and it goes round and round.
It even has has a bit of that oldie-timey spoken verse. Fully sure of the themes here. I'm a huge fan. I love that track on a first listen. And I feel like it's good enough. It could have been on a proper album. And it feels like there's some commentary about the human species and about the way in which there's a bit of hubris. Like we think we're sort of the only species of significance, or indeed the whole point of everything. You know, we spin around the globe with many other species on board. It feels like there's a saying that, like, not only are we in trouble, which again, headlines, this is 89, you know, the Cold War is perhaps, you know, very close to ending in a certain way, but at that time, just before ending, still in a very intense state. So it feels like the headlines could be a reference to, like, we're in danger, because if, you know, you read headlines about, you know, the nuclear saber rattling and so on, then ultimately, you know, the doomsday clock being very close to midnight. So it feels like that's kind of where some of this could be. Again, I don't know that for sure, but it feels like the whole bit about, you know, we're in danger feels very much 89. But yeah, ultimately like there were other lines that felt like they were making even larger, or, you know, sort of fundamental points about the essence of humanity and the way that our psychology works, where we seem to place ourselves on this vaunted pedestal, and indeed as if we're walking across the water like Jesus. But perhaps there's a suggestion here that there is hubris there, that there's a mistaken sense of self-designated importance. Either way, I enjoyed, like, the bits I was catching and trying to chart through, and again, it felt like there's some commentary here, even if I'm not getting all of it correctly. And yeah, I like the sonics. Again, it had a sort of 80s dance floor feel, but it also had a bit of a sing-songy, maybe like less Motown than maybe one or two other things I've heard from them, but it did have a bit of that old-time, classic, middle of the 20th century feel, including that vocal part where we reheard some of the lines from earlier, but in a deeper kind of spoken way, which, you know, if you listen to a lot of those doo-wop tunes or Motown songs, there's sometimes one verse where it's, you know, the baritone or whatever, and it'll give this spoken delivery of one of the verses, and it almost felt like an homage to that. So yeah, some different flavors in this one, and a really cool tune. Glad that I decided to go through some of these. Again, we'll go to the Marian Gold solo album as soon as we finish going through whatever seems appropriate here. Again, anything that's not another version or a remix of an album track, I'd definitely be interested in. And of course, if there is a particularly good extended version or remix or whatever of other tracks, let me know. I'd be happy to go through those. But as I said, I wanted to check in here, and, you know, track number 2 was one I didn't recognize, although, you know, the name rung a bell for, like, wait, I've done a reaction to headlines, but in a very different sonic territory. Nevertheless, shout out to Alphaville. This is a cool B-side, I assume, and I feel like an album or a track strong enough to be on a proper record. So let me know if you agree. Let me know what you think overall. I will see you next time. Peace.